You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
Oh, yeah.
And it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering the anime that aired the week of the 7th of September to the 13th of September, 2020. And hopefully I'm in sync. I should be. I checked it this week. God knows what was going on last week. I think it was something Skype or NDI related. So let us crack on with our non-solitary exceptions, but it'll soon be a solitary exception, of things which didn't air this week. And we start off with the final episode of Super Shiro, episode 48, Midnight at the Department Store. So yes, the Boba Bone is at the department store, which has a suspiciously Batman-like logo.
Yes. I was wondering, is that meant to be correspond to a certain department store or
a chain or something?
Yeah. I didn't look into it in a similar way. I did not look into whatever the TV show that Wacky TV Nanana was parodying this week.
It could be a lot of things. We'll get into that, though.
Yeah.
So it's a race through various different departments at a department store. After they break in, they have a race through the kitchenware, through the soft furnishings, through children's clothes, which ends up with Shiro dressed in Shin-chan's clothes but upside down.
So there's a butt dance, though.
Yes. Into millinery, where they both end up in top hats and do a tap dance. And then finally, the rooftop cafe. I forgot that was a thing in Japanese department stores. But whether it still is or whether it's a nostalgic thing, I remember it. When I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, there's a Eurosite Sewer episode set in a department store, and they also end up in a rooftop cafe.
I guess you would if you're in a country with with often nicer weather, right?
Yeah.
It's just on this fucking end of the world. It's kind of like, nah, why the fuck would you want to go outside?
I mostly remember that from playing Pokemon Red/Blue, and when you get to that one city, you pass the department store, and you go up to the top, and it's got like the vending machines there, and you'd always go there because you get like a can of mineral, a kind of soft drink, which would be half the price of like a potion for your Pokemon, and twice as effective. So just giving them energy drinks and lemonade.
You go to the one really awkwardly placed vending machine in the entire world because of the convenience.
Super potion. Who's got money for that? We'll give my guy a fucking power thirst, a monster energy drink. He's gonna be. I mean, he's literally a monster. He needs energy.
I guess that's what the garden is in Yakuza 4 as well, on the top of the shopping centre, because there are vending machines up there as well. But it being Yakuza 4, you can't actually use them. But luckily later
you can't even use them to pick up and throw at a dude or smash a guy into or...
No, Yakuza 5, you get to start doing that. Yakuza 5, Saejima can rip out like electricity boxes and smaller signposts and start whacking them at people. And in Yakuza Kiwami 2, then you can use your vending machines. So I'm going to guess probably in 6 as well then. I've not got that far yet, and I'm thinking I won't get there before 7's out, to be honest. There's the bone is the weather vane on the rooftop cafe.
But it is like pretty much bone shaped for once.
Yes, it is. And there's also like some sort of display with various other Shin-chan characters, including Buriburi Zaimon, who is a character Shin-chan himself has invented. As the little pig samurai.
Yeah.
I'm still yet to see a proper episode with him in. He shows up in 4, the movie 4. I think that's the only thing I've seen him in. So I don't fully understand how he works in the world. As to whether he's always part of the imagination or part of like a fantasy world come to life, or them going to his world, or whether somehow the show just does not care and he both exists as an actual character and Shin-chan's imagination. And it ends with Deca-Poo being shrunk once again. And Shin-chan he gets the bone, and he's really sure it is this time, and he can finally go back to being a normal dog. And there's a pause, and he says, "I did," and then the boom, an explosion happens again.
Sorry, your nightmare continues.
And you get the feeling that the inner hero, Akira Otsuka, is much more happier about the superhero life than Shin-chan himself. Yeah, it's like a promise of this story will never end. We might be back again, but it is a little. I think if you're watching as a kid, you probably don't care. But if you watch it as an adult, you're like, oh, poor Shin-chan. He can never escape this hero cycle he's found himself trapped in.
I know. I want to see some fan art of this, where it's like that cover when she was Spider-Man. He has like the badge and the cape thrown into the bin. Super Shiro, no more. Yep, it's a good one to go out on. You get all the hits to go into the department shop. Get lots of little scenes. Get all the, maybe you've seen some of these guys before, but here they are again. All the classics. Get Super Beam in.
And they had the chance to do and they make the joke at the end where it's like, it's finally the last episode, but it's like this episode was just a department store. It's like that's regular cartoon hijinks, nothing special there. Except they're as fun as they always are. So yeah, I'm happy if they go back and do this more, or if it just ends up in syndication forever. That's nice too.
Yeah. Then we've got B&A, brand new animal, episode 11, A Beastly Feast.
Yum yum.
In which Jack is back this episode, so therefore it's an improvement.
The pacing's better and the writing's better again. It is. Yes. We're definitely over that hump by the feel of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except I feel like there's still so much to be explained, and there's only one episode left.
I'm kind of hoping they just go just fucking crazy monster fights now, which seems to be the way it's going. So I'm okay with that.
I'm a little confused, but I'll wait to see how it all shakes out in the final part.
Yeah.
But essentially, God, I've still not remember. Is Nazuna?
Nazuna is the
Nazuna is
idol / prophet.
Yes, the fake silver wolf. She's going to do a concert, and then at the end of the concert, she's going to reveal that she's a human, as to say that this will somehow calm the animals. That it will help soothe the beast men. That they've got such a close connection now with humans.
It'll let them feel less agitated about the fact that it's like, hey, you might have to take some medication that'll turn you into a human, but don't worry, I'm a human and I became a beast man. Therefore, it goes both ways. You'll be fine. And I was like, I get the logic there, but it's like, you haven't really thought this through.
Mitcheroos are like, are you sure?
Because I was told the opposite thing.
Yeah.
I do like the way they're presented more as friends in this. She's going oh, you're not going with that set list, are you? And they've kind of gotten back to that closeness that they had lost. It was nice to see.
Yeah, and Shiro hears this from the mink, and Shiro's reaction is, "Oh no, that's a terrible thing. This is part of Alan's plan to turn everybody into crazed beasts. Give me a gun. I'm going to shoot her." Because apparently that's the only way he can see through this will calm them down. Rather than reveal that she's a human, I'll just murder their idol on the stage.
Was he actually going to murder her, or was he going to
I don't know. He wasn't that, because he says as much later on that wasn't going to hurt your friend.
Right.
Was he going to attempt to assassinate but fail as a distraction so she couldn't do the reveal? Was that the plan? I'm not exactly sure what the plan was.
I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't work anyway, because the whatever plan Alan had was going to happen regardless of what Nazuna did.
Yeah.
And so then we've got also the mayor escapes the Prime Minister's residence with the help of her right-hand man. And then along with, what's his name? Pinga is flying her back.
Pingu,
yes.
Pingu.
Because he's been listening to the various military and police radio and found out what was happening. So he came back to investigate. And so I guess they'll get there next episode, probably to calm Shiro down as he's gone berserk by the end of the episode and eaten Michiru. Because essentially, Alan just sends in the medical robots,
Medibots,
which turns out they were used in the war before. And then the what's his name, Boris.
Yeah, like Michiru manages to get to say to her, "Is like, don't reveal you're human," and she's like, "All right, okay, I'll take your word for it. But you're gonna have to explain this to me later." Which I was like, "Yeah, they've trusted each other as friends." But he had all the footage of her as a human lined up, and it's like, "She's a fake. Everyone get her." Yeah, and look, they're attacking us with robots now. Ooh, those humans. Ooh, they make me so cross.
And then they start hulking out then.
Well, I mean, like, once one hulks out, everyone else is like, ah, and then panics, and then they panic and they hulk out, and it's just like, yeah, it's a whole... I did like when you see the giraffe and the llama at home watching the concert, and the giraffe hulks out, and then his wife, the llama, goes like, ah, and then she starts hulking out. It's just like, yeah, it's just a cascade effect.
Yeah,
it is.
It was kind of, it got me wondering, because I thought, well, we've seen them flip out before and get into, when they morph and they start fighting each other or they square up with each other, but then they never see them do it like this. But then they are all this doing this. Well, I thought, okay, so
but they're not all doing it, because it's quite clear that the cynical characters aren't affected by it. So the gangsters who are helping Shiro out.
Same with the cops, actually, as well. Yeah,
because of course, what we've kind of going to kind of presume, what I was kind of trying to believe in my own mind, is that, okay, maybe this medical corporation, they have, developed this drug, which seems to, because we saw like the Rhino get shot up with something, and then after that he flipped out and turned into a big Rhino monster man.
Well, they could have just pumped him full of adrenaline in order to just increase stress or something. Yeah,
maybe that's it. Like, maybe you're being led to believe, oh, they've like put something, or they've like dosed the population with something, but maybe it is just not. Maybe it is just an actual underlying thing. I was half wondering there for a bit. It did have something to do with that water purifier scam that Jackie was wrapped up in. Did they put something into the water? Or is it tied to often see them in the public spaces, the knockoff Red Bull drink stands putting it into this.
It could be any number of things. Yeah, they could easily go like do a quick montage of like, yes, we seeded the population with things, and it shows the Red Bull thing, it shows the water purifier fucking scam. It just goes like, oh, so it was them behind it all along. They could do that.
Do we see children change? I know we see children getting rescued.
I don't think we do. I think anyone who changes is an adult, and the children have been carried off.
But then Shiro is witnessing the devastation. He's just like, it's happening again, and he's getting this from PTSD flashback, and then he hulks out. And we know we see him earlier on. He's like with Flip, he's with the mobsters, he's with all them, and they're like seem to be keeping a cool head anyway, as best as they can. So I'm thinking like maybe there is something in this, or it is within their nature to just like to do this, which I think would dilute the message somewhere. It's kind of saying that these people who are other to you, it's within them to have this like murderous, violence, vicious tendency, and that's kind of muddling the message, I think, that they're attempting to convey to us.
It's again the X-Men problem of, it's like, hey, come on, we're humans too. It's like, yeah, but you shoot lasers out your face and you don't need a license for it. So it's that kind of problem where it's like, yeah, if you actually give them dangerous superpowers, it's like, should the government be under control of these race of people? And you don't want to ask that fucking question, because that's a fucked up question to ask.
We'll see how it shakes out in the final part, but it seems to be a bit muddled up right now, and it's not quite clear to me. Maybe I'm meant to be a little bit confused and ill at ease right now.
I think it also brings into question how much you were supposed to read in an allegory that maybe wasn't intended.
I mean, it was there to some extent, but as to whether it's supposed to be any kind of real world equivalent,
whether it's just a story about what would happen if a bunch of animal people had to live together of varying species.
Like, it doesn't really dwell on the moral implications of the dodo man being wiped out in a baseball game. It's just kind of like, I'm fine with that.
And again, it's like Kill la Kill. It does have a habit of playing poverty for laughs, as we get in here, where Jackie is so impressed with this bread crust, which has this lovely white fluffy stuff in the middle of it.
What is this? It's not blue or fuzzy or nothing. No.
It's amazing. Is this new?
Sliced bread. Wow. What a country.
They could have easily just made like Animal City, starring Jackie and her complete stupidity, and we probably would have enjoyed the show overall more. But I'll let it see how it pegs out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely a better episode than the last two.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
In terms of just sort of pacing, writing. Yeah.
I like even Shiro's basic explanation to her, where he's like, Beastmen are more emotional. So they'll get more emotionally agitated and get more excited, but they're also more trusting. So when their trust is betrayed, they get more emotionally upset about it. And I was just like, it very quickly explains things that it needs to progress the plot to everyone hulking out. Yeah.
They're like, that's the opposite of what Alan Sylvester said. No, duh.
No shit. Fuck that guy. He's full of shit.
Right. Next up, we've got Great Pretender. Episode 4 of LA Connection, where I guess if it did have an episode title, it would be coming something like Fathers and Sons, I guess, would have been the episode title.
Yeah,
Sins of the Fathers.
As we get some little bit more background on exactly what his dad did.
See, when it was going like, oh, his dad was a proud lawyer and he fought crime and people and for justice, and I was like, oh, he's a lawyer, yeah, I get why he's crooked. And then I was like, whoa, okay, that's more than I was expecting in terms of crooked.
That was that's that fun tough one. I think he's probably like he's
dealing with the mob, or
lawyer,
he's getting people off who are actually guilty. Yeah, you know, the regular dirty lawyer stuff.
It's human trafficking.
Yeah. That's a bit okay, fair enough.
Like
I can see why everyone remembered that name. It's like, oh, this dude is involved with human trafficking. It's like, yeah, that's a really bad crime.
And so then when Salazar's relationship with his son Tom comes up, he's like, so he speaks to Salazar and learns like why Salazar's doing this, why he became a gang member in the first place, why he's now just a bodyguard, because he's doing it for his son, but that's not really convincing Makoto, because he's like, but yeah, one day your son's going to learn what you did, and then whatever nice things you're doing for him, if he probably already knows, and he's just pretending not to know for your benefit, and all these things. It's like
I did like Salazar kind of going like, it's like, yeah, maybe he fucking is, but like if I can just make a reasonably honest book, keep my head fucking fairly low, and make enough money to send him through college, at least I can give him a good life, even if he ends up hating me. Seems to be the implication. Yeah.
And while all this relationship is playing out, meanwhile, Inspector Anderson is made to go and speak to Makoto about becoming the FBI's spy within Eddie's operation, so that they can arrest Eddie and Laurent when the trade-off is made for the drugs.
Again, the fucking like betrayals and the schemes within schemes, and it was like, yeah, we know you're bullshitting. We know this guy's a fucking like con artist, but we're willing to give you a plea bargain, send you back home to Japan, no fucking criminal record, as long as you work for us.
You just want to get this guy. You're
like small fish. We want this big fucking fish.
You're not our target really here. So.
And then your man's just being such a creep. He's making like fucking weird sexual advances at the guy. And he's like, oh, you're going to go to prison. They're going to like you, boy. Yeah. Fucking. And it was just like, oh, fuck this guy. Yeah. Every time I see this fucker, he gets slimier. It's weird.
You're showing me yours. How about I show you mine?
He's just nasty.
Great, Teen Nelson. Come on. Why you got to be this way?
And then, Abigail keeps on visiting Makoto in the night to give him video lessons that Laurent's filmed on how to make drugs.
Like, he's going on holiday, meeting all the drug dealers, like, and he's just there commenting, is like, so it's like cooking, you know? It's just his addition commentary to the fucking drug paraphernalia stuff is really funny.
And to be fair, the guys making the drugs also hosting it like it is a cookery program.
Yeah, no, your man's totally into it. He's clearly into the British Bake Off or something, because he's just up for this.
Yes. Start now. Just a little bit of horse tranquilizer, and let's get it on a nice simmer there. A little bit of bay leaf, just the little signature touch there. I can get into it.
But it turns out Salazar has been recording all their meetings. And then at a meeting with Eddie suspects there's somebody who's betraying them. But Makoto thinks it's going to be him.
The way that plays out is fucking great.
Could it be Abigail? Could it be Lawrence? Could it be Makoto? Could it be the Weasley dude who's looking there in the background with a smug look on his face?
Yeah, it's that guy.
Indeed.
And then Makoto confronts Salazar. It's like, you knew we knew we're trying to cut. You know we're trying to con Eddie, but why didn't you let us go? And he's like, well, I'm a bodyguard. I'm only here to protect his life. I'm not here to protect his money.
Yeah, you can fucking rob him as long as you're not trying to fucking kill him. I don't give a shit. Basically, which is just like he said, he's just keeping himself as least dirty as possible.
Yes.
Yeah. As well, like this, where you wanted to. Well, you used to be like leader of your own gang. Why did you get off it? Well, leader of your own gang, you got to be like keeping up on operations, looking after all of your members. You got to bribe the cops. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of danger. I found like a gig like this where it's steady, the work is straightforward, and I can just focus on trying to give my son a future.
Like you said, like he's literally only trying to protect his life. He's not even protecting his money interests and shit. It's just like, no, I'm not like a main guy in the gang. I'm just muscle. And it's like, that's an easy fucking job. I can keep myself as least fucking bad as possible. Yeah.
It's very God, who's playing him? The bodyguard in Get Shorty.
Oh, with Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah. It's no, that's in Be Cool.
No, that's in Be Cool.
Gandolfini in.
I've got like 3 mods here. This is fucking insane. Get away.
What do they think about Great Pretender?
God damn it.
Need more lights.
They're not even going for lights. They're going for the camera for no fucking reason I can tell. Anyway, sorry.
He reminds me a bit of the Gandolfini character in Get Shorty.
Like, I think they're definitely like coming from that stuff. But and also he's the more likable character out of the thing.
Yes. Another good episode. It slows down a bit. It's less. There's the little bit of the pulling the trick is from the FBI this time.
Like I'm half wondering, is Salazar's like, is this like a play that he's doing? Is this not real or something like that? Because the show has done that to me so far, but it does feel honest. But I'm like, should I trust anyone at this stage in the show?
Episode 5, there's going to be all sorts of twists and turns because that's the last one of this story.
Yeah, this felt very much like we're going to set up all these dominoes.
Yeah, for sure.
Effects, and we have nice angles I can push. Like, again, Makoto, he has this in with Salazar where he could present this kind of front to him, but it is rooted in this truth in his own past. So if he wants to like work some kind of angle with him, that's the way he would do it. But he seems to be as well just trying to make a genuine connection with him because he feels like he sees something of himself more so in like the young lad Tom is.
Well, yeah, I mean, like his father obviously was more interested in human trafficking than like his mother's health and that kind of thing. It's like he really fucked over his family for profit, whereas this guy is like, I'm gonna fuck myself over for my family kind of thing. It's just like I'm gonna try and do right by my kid because it's the best he can do. And I'm just like, he can see that, and he's like, okay, so that's the one condition he makes with the FBI. I work with you, but you gotta leave him out of this.
Then we got Extra Olympia Kyklos, episode 16, Cheetah, in which, hey, our question was answered in the very next episode's ending theme.
Yeah, it's a good show. We cannot outthink it, for sure.
But the episode itself is the mayor is like, oh yeah, we need to figure out how to make money out of this.
I've spent so much money advertising it. I barely have any drachmas left.
Spent so much money setting it up that like we're actually running a deficit. Even if it does go ahead, I'll still be in debt. Sounds a lot like Sweater. not these toe Olympics. Everybody's Olympics still.
So travel back to 1964, or forward rather, and arrive in the baths. We get a Thermi-Roma gag, in which the guys ask him if he's a Roman. We get a Eureka gag.
We also get the thing of it's like, hey, what's this weird thing? It's like it's a bath out. They have him in Rome. You know, it's related to Greek. It's like, no, we don't have them in Greece. And it's like, oh yeah, it's one of those things that didn't actually cross over.
That's offensive. You just assuming I'm a Roman with how I look coming in with the toga and all that. No way.
And then we get into the sponsorship of the baths. And then also Yakuza's tattoos.
That was fucking great. It's like, hey, what's that guy's tattoo? It's like, shut up.
A fishmonger and is moving around.
And he's like, wow, that's a great advertisement. Slaps the guy in the back. It's just like, dude, fucking no.
And this encounter leads him to travel back in time. And they set up sponsors. But oh no, there's a downside of having sponsors. You have to listen to the sponsors' demands about how the event is run. So one wants it to be moved to the olive season. Another guy wants people to shout the name of his company as they cross the line.
I think the other guy wants him to like wrestle, but like make sure your back is like displayed.
That's it, written. Yes. Like move slightly lower so people can read what's written on the wrestlers. And then we get our song where the bard answers our question about were there cheats at the ancient Olympics. Well, they were at the Roman Olympics, as we learn about Nero getting medals even though he failed to finish. But they don't mention the best thing, which I did look up after the fact, about that chariot race he failed to complete and still got the gold medal, is it was a 4-horse chariot race, but he entered with a 10-horse chariot.
And the show has tricked you into learning about history. Ha
It's just fun as a song is dragging Nero's ass all the way
through. Yeah, it's really calling him a motherfucker. Good. Fuck that guy.
And a baby.
Yes. Oh yeah, the thing of the baby and the superhero cape, like it's like Nero is so powerful, and it's just like a shot of a baby in a cape, and it's just like amazing stuff.
It's that you didn't do shit, but the record says you won. It's just like a kid going, "Yay, I got the trophy."
And as soon as he died, all those records were removed from the official records.
I'd hate to be Nero right now.
Exactly. He'll be turning in his grave. Then we've got God of High School. I think that's next, isn't it? Oath.
You're right.
Oath.
What you call me?
Not oath. Oath. And meaning. In which when it starts off, you think it's going to be Ilpia's episode, and it kind of is, but then there's a whole load of giant robo episodes.
The fucking apocalypse happens outside.
So, like, all the people in the stadium are like, wow, this is a really good fight. And it's like, no one else on planet Earth is going to remember that because of what they see on the fucking news. In like, hey, giant sword tries to stab soul. It's like, okay, we're probably going to remember that. Yeah.
God himself, or the being that preceded the existence of God, emerges from a portal. While a homeless man gets some like monks to just get into a drum circle and start chanting, while he flings like every national treasure Korea has got in its archives at it.
I did like it was a combination of like ancient weapons and this really sweet machine gun that really did good for us in that war.
It was just like a machine gun from the war or something.
Yeah, like a wild combination of fucking staves and rocket launchers. It's good stuff.
Yeah, whereas the other two lads appear to be fleeing Christianity at each other. The guy from
well, that's it as well, because you get explained that their whole deal with Nox is they are monotheists, and they are they find this like thing of borrowing the powers of like other gods or imaginary characters to be despicable and heretical. So we should only be borrowing the power of the one true God.
Yeah. So, like, their power comes from their one god, but if anyone else's power comes from, I don't know, let's say Lubu, then that's not fucking good enough for them.
Yeah, I think so. We also learned that Jagal was in league with them, but only to get information out of them, because he also wants the key for himself.
He was just a bastard beforehand, is the other thing we learn about him.
Yes. When shattered the leg of Sun Young is the other member of Ilpio's team who does I think it's Taekwondo. It's a different kick-based style.
I've forgotten the bloody name of it. It's like a traditional Korean martial art because Taekwondo is like only recent. I can't think of the name of it now. I know the one it is, but I can't fucking think of it. It's very like throws and kind of like grabs and slaps and stuff. It's really nice. They do a really good job of rendering it. I can't think of the fucking name though.
But her sister was in this. It's her sister who got her leg busted, and that's kind of what Olympia is wanting to win the tournament because you get one wish, and I guess to obviously heal up her leg because she's currently confined to a wheelchair.
And it's like, oh, you might gain with physio, you'll gain the ability to walk, but you won't be doing martial arts again. So he's in it again. We want to root for him. It's like, hey, he wants to heal her leg with the magical god wish that you get. Yeah.
And he also wants to encourage our hero to get better throughout the fight. This is after she shows up in her wheelchair and tells him that he's got to fight for his own reasons, not for her. And then he's like, Jin like kind of. Does Jin figure it out, or do the other two figure it out that he seems to be training Jin during the fight?
Someone mentions it.
Everybody seems to figure kind of.
Yes.
Kind of split it out. And he's just like, he's really trying to fun push him like further. Why is he giving advice and pointing out what his shortcomings are? And then
I like the way the shortcomings are. Like shortcoming 1, you're bad at close combat. It's like, but it's a martial art. That's like the worst thing you could be bad at.
Well, he's gotten too used to he has these like attacks that they
like wild
throw in from close range, or he's like shooting out blue fire dragons with his kicks. Your blue fire dragon is a crutch. You got to get off of it. But again, it's a cool kung fu thing where you have the more experienced opponent, and they're pointing out, oh yes, you're too flexible, you're too rigid here, and then the young upstart slowly improves and also, and then starts bringing in techniques that he wouldn't normally use to try and throw him off guard. So he starts doing that Mira's swordless style and doing like the air cutter with just his bare hands. It's like, hey, he's doing my moves, and he starts doing some Hans moves as well, doing the black tortoise.
And each one he kind of goes through. It's like, hey, now I'm unpredictable. Now I can do close combat. What was my last flaw again there, bud? And just kind of working through it. And your man takes the fall, and then it's like, hey, the flashback is basically the grandpa going, it's like, hey, if you meet this kid again, give him some advice, if you know what I mean.
Take care of him, Al Pacino kind of way.
Which he's like, I'm glad I got to help you out, but also I gotta win this, so time for my numbers to go into the negative. Is that even possible? His life points go into the minuses, or his level goes into the minuses. I'm not exactly sure about the point system. I don't understand how it works.
How can you kill that which has no life?
And then he meets some nine-tailed fox and becomes so powerful that everybody having their massive world-ending fight outside stops and turns in the direction of the stadium.
Whoa, fox boy! Disappeared.
Wait a minute. We just kicked the shit out of before God. But that's a bit that's a bit of a worry. They're more worried about that now. And the fight outside was fucking class, honestly.
It was, yeah.
I especially like the musicians, because obviously they do a bit of rotoscoping and some CG, to get the martial arts really downright, get the different katas right downright. But the fact that they did it for the musicians as well, I was just like, oh, that's rad as shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a top-notch fight, and I kind of wish everything was at the stakes of the stuff going on outside, which I guess it will be when it gets to the final of this fight.
Yeah, when it gets to fucking the interdimensional tournament or whatever happens later on in the comic.
Yeah.
Presuming they ever make more of this afterwards.
Yeah, because I think it's probably going to get to it next episode now that LPO's become ridiculously powerful. To the point where it's like even the head of Nox is like, what? What's that?
Say what? That seems an awful lot like a god, and that's very bad because our god just got his asses kicked. But
yeah, I like the full scale, as you say, with the drummers and the ridiculous levels of magic that the homeless guy from the 60s
like
using.
throwing so many weapons in, and then like he throws himself into it so he could take a bite out of that sword.
Yeah,
that's rad as shit. Again, like this is the, like you said, this is the kind of show I want to see. And it keeps giving us these glimpses of, it's like, this looks fucking amazing. Can I have more of this? Much not as the actual like hand-to-hand stuff looks fucking amazing. There isn't quite enough of it there to really pull me in, but that just absolute batshit crazy stuff is amazing.
I know, like when the one-on-ones are
when they're going well, yeah.
You know, they're pretty good. I mean that Jin versus Han fight from before, like I still go back to that because that just lasts a whole episode, and it's just this great push and pull of what it's just a great example of it. And that is. It was kind of like a peak in one sense because it was kind of just before things really kicked off with all of the extra powers and the chariot and that. And you just kind of recalibrate your expectations of the series then from then on afterwards. I'm not sure it'll get to that level of just like that simple poetry of that fight. But
because I was really enjoying, like, at the start of this episode, because we skipped over your, I can't remember, your one sister, the really muscly one. She's fighting. Young. Yeah, sorry, you did say. She's fighting your man, and like it's just like the first hit'll be decisive, and she's just like trying to like hit his ear canal, so he goes slightly off balance because like he's the better fighter, but if you can get that hit, and I was just like, that's really good. I really enjoyed this, but then it just goes fucking. Everything else goes so crazy, you kind of forget about that, and it was like that's such a nice like fighting moment, but. You kind of lose it then.
It was a really quick fight compared to the rest of it.
yeah. But I mean, like, you could have made that a really interesting scene, but it's just like, no, we want to get to the fucking craziness.
Yeah, and Hans manifested his chariot there as well.
Yeah.
Wasn't quite like just like, oh, he just literally summoned the beast of the 4 cardinal points of feng shui. It's like, what was it again? It was some kind of water-based ability, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like some bubbly looking thing that helped him block the hit or something. It wasn't as clear as to what his thing is yet. Yeah.
Anyways, it's a spectacle for the eyes. You know, you're not going to have much to chew on here regarding any kind of themes or characters as much. But hey, I think we're like pretty well set for what to expect from it. So, well, grand. We'll just enjoy the action as long as it plays out for.
Yeah,
that's okay.
It's some sort of high tie. A blue dog-like creature with multiple fangs, a big red nose, bulging yellow eyes, and a top hat. Apparently, that's his.
Top hat.
I guess it's
classy.
I don't think it. Oh, maybe it's his top hat legs.
Original character, do not steal.
Yeah. Then you can tell me all about Fruits Basket, episode 23. It's Cinderella-ish.
Yeah, more or less. It's the first half is this they're finally putting on their school play, and the play is fake, but the emotions are real.
Yeah, so the young kids kind of coming in to see the play, and they're all excited about it, and all excited to hang out. But like, I like the fact that they've been building up this play for a while, but it actually still was pretty fun to watch. And it's like, yeah, you know, it's Cinderella, you know the plot, but they
extensive rewrites.
I've had a couple of changes. I think my favorite one is actually the character of Cinderella, who's just like, everyone is just like, I don't know if she's amazing in this role or is this really fucking weird, because she spends every scene eating food, drinking something, or trying to eat food.
It's just Panajima just being herself. Focused on her own things. And if like, you know, we should have like her mom playing the evil stepmother, and Tora's playing the stepsister, which is not so evil. It's more so, oh, I want to have tea and make dresses with you as well. It's like, no, you won't. Okay, Cinderella, if you want to see your sister again, you're going to get them dresses done toot sweet, all right? And the man should rope Yuki into the play. He'll be the fairy godmother.
Everyone's using excessive flash photography, and it's like, please refrain from flash photography. I like the commentator as well, because he's saying like, and the prince instantly fell in love, and it's like, I fucking didn't. Like at several points, like he's telling the characters what they're supposed to be doing, but they're not doing it, and it's funny for it. Yeah.
Anajima saying the whole way through, it's just like her one wish. I would like to have some yakiniku. Oh well, you're gonna go to the ball in a pumpkin carriage instead. But there's yakiniku at the ball. Oh, okay, thank goodness.
That's part of the magic, you see. That's how you get her there.
Yeah, and of course, great casting. This is how this bit I remembered of Uotani getting involved. She's there as like the co-prince. She's just there trying to egg on Kyo in the main prince off and say, "Come on, man! All these babes are here. You gotta get out there and dance with them." He's like, "No, I don't want to do that." It's like, "Come on, man! To know what it feels like to have all these people, you want to meet them so badly, but you can't get through to them. I mean, why would you come and see me?" And it's like, "Oh yes, she's like." Digging deep for her own longing for her own romantic pursuit right there. It said plays fakely, but the emotions are real.
Yeah, the ball's all right, but Cinderella's more interested in everyone's shocked that she's dressed, like all the audience is shocked she's dressed in head to toe in black, and I was like, the fuck were you expecting? She's just more concerned with grilling some meat in the middle of the ball rather than actually doing any stuff. And Kyo is kind of like, I guess I have to try and pick you up because that's the role, and it's very unconvincing, but it's very fun.
Yeah, and they have the scene then where like he had a glass slipper and lost to the chopsticks she used to grill her meat with, and you got to find the owner of them. And it comes to the evil stepmother, and it's not just and fish her, and then it's just like, oh, we give it to eat this the other stepsister, and like it's Toru, and it's just like, oh, what a stop for you. Oh, but I could be, but and it's just like. Almost like, this admitting the emotions they have between the two of them, but it's just, they just kind of hold back just right just then. But they gotta go through the end of the play, and then it's just like, well, actually, the prince won't up as Cinderella. Cinderella will actually follow her own dream of opening a yakiniku restaurant, and this is a new telling of Cinderella, where like Cinderella don't need no man to have a happy life. The end.
The main reveal between Toru and Kyo is also one of the main reveals is she has or Cinderella has a line is like where the prince is like, oh, you're just going to be all alone in the palace for the rest of your life kind of thing, and Toru's like, hey, I don't want you to be alone. That wasn't my line. I'm gonna just step back over here again. I'm a sucker from the plays, The Thing in Which Will Catch the Conscience of the King. That's classic stuff, and I like it.
Yeah. Then the afterwards, then it's just like all other things surrounding the Scuba Festival. I keep forgetting his actual name. Kyo's dad.
Vice President. Oh, that guy. Yeah. He has shown up much to Kyo's consternation. It's like, who the fuck told him?
Yeah. And he's like, hey, where's Toru? I just see her as well. It's like, I don't know. It's not my job to find out where she is. It's not like I'm a boyfriend or nothing.
But if you're going to look for her, I'm come with. Just wait till I change out of this prince getup.
And Kyo's going, why did I just say that? Something doesn't not sitting right with me. More kind of Yuki things. You check it in with student council. They are doing all right. The other dude, the secretary, super stressed out. I wonder, do we ever find out why his deal is? Why is he so wound up, like tighter than a drum?
I feel like it might just be like they're giving him a Napoleon complex. Like maybe there's something more to it, but they really don't have time to cover it. I feel like with the amount of episodes they've left.
Yeah, but Machi has been cornered by some of the Yuki fan club, and it's just like, hey, what are you doing? Think you're so good on the student council with our prince?
How dare you call our prince not a prince? That's really messed up. And Yuki's kind of like, oh, I should intervene, and your man's like, no, we're gonna hide here and not intervene because of very logical and reasonable reasons. I was just like, no, fucking intervene, dude.
Yeah, but Kakuru was saying, well, that's she doesn't really stand up for herself, or she doesn't she just lets these fuckers walk all over her. Oh wait, look, you stay here, and I'll go take up a plan. If that's getting physical, then you can move in here with me. I appreciate him saying is like, hey, if they fucking like try and push her or throw a punch or something, like, yeah, fucking intervene. But at the moment, it's just verbal, and I'm still like, yeah, I guess that's some reasonable thing. And he does come up with a good distraction, for lack of a better term. Yeah, but as well, Machi is just saying things like that. Oh, he's not a prince. He's just like a bit of an airhead. He's not like that at all. And it's sort of calling him out for how he actually is, how he actually feels about things. And like he's just like taken aback that someone has pegged him so well, and it's horror of all people. Well, he's like taken aback on the things like he's just lonely or something like that. He's like, fuck, she got me there. But I'd like to think of like, he's just an airhead. He's like, I'm an airhead.
It's not even like, how fucking dare. It's like, what? Which is just kind of just proves the point there.
Kyklos restored to this, there's an announcement over the tannoy. It's like, there's going to be a photo opportunity with Yuki, the school president.
Limited slots available, first come, first served. And so all the Yuki fan club bullies leg it to there, which solves the problem. But he's like, well, now I got to do a photo op. He's like, yep, I've solved the problem. But, that's kind of most of the episode, because the second half is a lot of the doings and goings around the fair.
Yeah, it closes out then it is what like Kyo catches up with Toru. He's like getting some food and things for the young kids, and there is this like thing. There's this like tension almost between them. They are realizing very clearly in their own hearts that I love Kyo, I love Toru, but because of our circumstances, because of what's still going on, that we're not
like they feel like they don't deserve it, or they don't deserve to say it, kind of thing. Like there's actually like, I like the way they show it by like having them walk together, ostensibly to the same people, but like putting physical distance between them, to show that they're just like, I can't justify doing that. That'd be selfish of me to admit that. Yeah. It's a nice visual, and it's nicely done.
I mean, it's Kyo thinking that I'm bound by this. I'm going to get locked away after this, so I shouldn't come forward.
Shouldn't hope for better
about this, because that would just break her heart. And then Toru thinking, well, I'm trying to break the curse, but if I'm not able to do it, I don't want to give Kyo any false hope or anything like that either. So I can't be honest and come out forward with him with that either. Even though it's just we love each other, we can't do it. And it's just, again, there's somebody who you really care about, and you could talk to them right now, but I can't. The same, that's like way Iwatani feels, the same way a lot of the cast feel, like don't have these things that they want to say, but they cannot because the person they do is like beyond their reach or deceased or X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. I'm not sure how the fuck they're gonna wrap this up, because I looked it up. This was like at the end of chapter like 89 of 99 chapters, and they've got what, 2 more episodes?
I could probably like do it. They need to cram in a lot.
If you said 3 episodes and like 9 chapters each, I'd be like, yeah, no problem. I've seen anime do that all the time. But like 5 chapters each, I'm like, you're gonna have to make some chops there, I feel like.
You need to cram into a lot in the next one, and then it builds up to this grand denouement.
They had 25 for the first series.
Yeah, I think it's set for 25 again this season. Yeah.
Because I do have again, memories of this are fuzzy, but some of them are accurate enough. I mean, I did remember Uotani being in the Prince got up in the play, so that tracks. But there is obviously a lot of winding down when the ending, such as it is, arrives, and it's just like there's a lot to unpack. There are a lot of threads that need tying up, and you just see everybody get whatever ending is in store for them.
Unless they save it for the DVD, like bastards.
Well, I know it does lead up and go on to the story. I mean, there is like extra stuff, because there was
there's like
comics that set like later on, like a couple of years later with these same characters. That could be maybe OVA stuff if they want to do that. There isn't as much of that comic, they couldn't make a whole other series out again, but that'd be like OVA stuff they do come to later on. It's just glad it's moved off from that whole from Yuki arc. It felt like it was like, oh yes, we get it. You got a mother complex. You got mother issues. Can we get on to the rest of the characters too? But there's a lot of things we need to like square off before we can get to the end of this. But fun play. It was a good way also to have a bit of fun, a bit of humor in after a lot of the kind of down in the dump stuff for the last while.
Righty ho, then we've got Wacky TV Nanana, episode 22, Entertainment, the Kraken Family, in which we discover our assistant director is about to be married off to the Kraken.
Look, they're at a rock chapel. He's in a wedding dress.
Yes.
There's a priest Kraken.
Yes.
Oh, those must be his parents.
Father Kraken are there.
Yeah, he's got the mustache. He's the dad, obviously. Yeah. Oh, he's got a bunch of kids.
Oh wow, single father.
Tough.
Well, needs to find
They're kind of like, wow, this is just fucking escalating. This is progressing, and it's like, this is good material, isn't it?
forget about a triple crown. We could go for the octuple crown. You have the bride-to-be who marries into this weird big family and has to try and find her place and fit in with their customs and traditions and everything like that. That's the drama. It writes itself. We gotta go.
And
with
it's so
man.
cheap. It's just happening. We could just put cameras in front of it. Oh, this is excellent. We'll get the whole building renovated on this.
Okay, Ganbate Nanayama. We're very happy for you.
Yeah, he's already imagined that the Kraken is going to be like the sort of husband who does whatever his wife tells him to. That's the thing where I was like, that's a specific parody.
Yeah.
Because they make him look like a specific person.
Yeah.
He's imagining it.
Yeah.
I was like, straight over the top of my head.
Yeah, comments were no help under the episode there. Someone saying that, why even sub this? Does anyone know over 12 watch this? But why are you watching it and commenting on it? But that's another story. I'm not sure what specific thing they're trying to pull from this year. It may come to light.
Oh, it's definitely like some specific thing, if not a couple of ones, yeah.
But I've seen so many things like this on that
yeah.
work.
What was that one with the family with the 12 kids?
Oh, there's lots of those. There's K+8. There's Outdaughtered. There's also there's like things like Sister Wives, where you have like the Mormon family, and it's like, you know, there's the one dude who has 6 or 7 wives, and the most interesting thing about them is that they have this strange marital relationship. That's the only thing they got going on. The most interesting thing about you is that you have 8 children. And it follows them in their daily lives, which are incredibly tedious and boring, which are only like varied by the fact that, we got to just do it with more people now.
Oh, it's more interesting because you have to make 8 pack lunches.
Yes, this is the high drama that happens in these things.
Oh no, we've run out of slices of ham. We should have bought 2 packets.
Anyways, these people may make more than I do in a year. So got into the wrong gig. I should have just had like more children, like a litter of kittens or something. But all right.
Okay, yeah. So back with this next week. We'll see how the wedding goes.
I assume it'll all go perfectly fine, and they will get the octuple crown.
Talking of things which go perfectly fine, Deca-Dence episode 10, break system, in which the system breaks.
Again, like you said last week, but it was like, no, this week works as well. In terms of pun car parts.
Slams the brakes on this world.
Well, yeah, because there's in Kaburagi's accounting of who was getting exploited, he forgot the Galdolls were getting exploited, and so by the end of the episode, there is an entirely new problem, which exists outside the system but has been created by the system. In which, during the course of this episode, we see that other little pet Gadol, the one who was being abused by the guys in charge of the factory, it attacks the guy in charge of the factory, stabbing it with its antennae, and then after it dies, it then bursts out of that guy and slowly absorbs avatars, growing bigger and bigger until by the end of the episode, it's a whole brand new threat, but is not being controlled by the system anymore.
It's not part of the programming. It doesn't have the magical glowy weak spot that we put on the bosses.
There's no kill switch now because we've already pressed that button.
And I guess my reading of it was, it's like, this one which has been abused has become like this, whereas Pipe, the one who was cared for, is like, okay, that's showing that, the Gadol were also being exploited and mistreated, just like everybody else in the system. And in the same way that Kaburagi has tried to break the system, now we've got this other thing, which
kind of fighting back against it.
Yes. When you're like trying to be an activist for your cause, it should not be to the exclusion of other people, which is what a lot of people run into nowadays. We're like, we're all about this issue. Oh yeah, but that issue also affects this. No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
tell me it's all about you again, aren't you? No, this is our time. This is our voice about saying no. This affects a lot of people. You need to. I mean, we're on the same side here. We're allies. We want the same things. Why are we like having this division so between us? It doesn't make any sense.
But the episode itself is about all the lies that Kaburagi's been telling Natsume for the previous 9 episodes.
And her like having like the existential crisis, as we figured. It's just like, you're blowing my mind here a little. This isn't good.
That was really well done, because she just has a panic attack and faints. It's just really comes and like the actual outburst of anger comes later. Actually, time to process it. Just doesn't flip out right then and there, which a lesser show would do.
But also, you can get through the episode quicker by fast forwarding through all the bits you've seen before. Because there's a lot of clips in this episode.
There is a lot of clips, but then you get some fun bits, like a bunch of the do we have a proper name for the cyborg guys?
Haybots.
The Haybots. Let's call them Haybots.
Cyborgs. I think they're called cyborgs.
They're just called cyborgs.
Based on the interview, which is on the Anime News Network site.
Like it was way too serious a scene, but like when they were driving off in one of the cars, I was really hoping it'd show one of them working the pedals. The foot pedals, because it was like, there's no way Kaburagi's reaching those.
They're oddly shaped, but seems to fit all right into the driver's seat. So.
Yeah.
And the other plot is Hugrin basically going, well, I'm pretty sure that human that I saw in the factory is a bug.
Because she's not showing up on any of my fucking searches. This bullshit. Okay.
Like, I gotta like track her down some other way without just like looking her up in the directory. Dang. But he knows what to do. He's smarter than that. If I just follow Kaburagi around for long enough, I'll probably be able to track it down.
I did like her realization of Kaburagi's lies to her were like, and it was your one who kind of pointed out there that everything she knows is her own truth. And then she's kind of going over in her head. It's like, wait a minute, I fucking convinced him to do all this. It's like, oh, it's not her fault or anything. It's just that she pushed him into breaking the system and helping out everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, all I wanted it to be was a little bit more confident. I didn't want to destroy the world in which we live in. But by the end,
that's kind of it as well.
Saying she'll help him, and then he gets punched through the chest
for his trouble. I did like that the thing of her like rushing to see him, and he's trying to rush to fucking jack back in. It's like, oh fuck, I gotta tell her the thing, and like she like whacks the door into his nose, which is a nice little thing. Of his like, and then he gets stabbed. It was kind of like, oh, what a bizarre misunderstanding. It's like, no, that body's dead now. A bit more traumatic, yeah.
Yeah, but I suspect she'll be saved by Hugring noticing the fuck off size Gadol.
We got bigger fish to fry right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's a guy as well showing an alternate, not alternate, like a different sort of perspective on that. The world you know as a line, you live in the Matrix. How are you going to react to it and respond to it? I think as well, like that's what Natsume said. If this is the way the world actually is, I would have stayed ignorant of it. But the thing is, though, there are some things you will just learn at certain points in your life, and you wish you could go back to a simpler time, like when you were younger or when you're even a child, and you kind of just like live on just a very simple, happy life. But that's sort of to kind of fulfill yourself to actually grow and kind of grow to fill this world. I know to find your kind of place in it, you have to kind of learn and process different things, and it's hard to unring that bell once you kind of discover these things. Like,
it's not just her like, it's her like going like, I've seen some shit and it's really fucked me up, man. Because she's looking down on everyone partying and everyone's like, "Way, fucking, there's no more Gadol and shit. That's cool. I guess we can live outside now. Cool. Fucking, this is rad." But she can't really celebrate with him because she knows like the falseness of it. But then your one kind of makes her realize it's like, yeah, but the things that you have done, I don't know what you've done, but I know they've specifically made this situation. possible reality for them, even though they don't know the truth of the reality that's been made for them. There is like, yeah, she's given them a lot of freedoms that they did not have access to, and it's cost her sense of well-being in some regard. But yeah,
it's again, how do you square your own happiness when you know that on the other side of the world, or even like on the other side of the sea you live in, people are suffering and dying or going through any kind of ordeal. But it's something you need to try and process and square with yourself.
Well, what we learn from this week's Shonen Jump is you get a devil which can eat all the bad things in the world.
I feel,
if it could be that simple.
If it could really be that simple. I'm sure that'll be coming to an anime soon.
God, what's that even going to be fucking like?
I've got a horrible feeling it'll be
they'll probably do the Doro fucking shit in it. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Even Doro like wasn't like the worst approach to that.
No.
It could have been like a better.
Could have been so much worse.
I mean, like sure. Some bits of that, like the background and so forth. We keep going on about this are good. It's because there's so kind of weird monster mans in Chainsaw Man that
You feel like a unique animation voice would do justice to the weird monster mans. Yeah.
We'll see how they do them in. Because you got Jujutsu Kaisen coming out in October. That's got lots of strange beasties in it. They're turning into things. If they can handle that and see. Well, we have a pretty clear frame of reference there that this can be done in this way, and that is faithful of the atmosphere trying to put in the comic. So let's just do that.
Yeah, I think Jujutsu Kaisen has a better chance though than Chainsaw Man, because I think the choice they've made for Jujutsu Kaisen's anime, and we'll see, but based on the trailers, I think the choice they've made is not one they can make for Chainsaw Man. Just because the level of draftsmanship is so different between the two comics.
Yeah.
This is a conversation for October. Now we need to talk
we might have time in October.
Did Kasami survive episode 10 as we get to episode 11 of Appare-Ranman, Rain in the Dark Night?
Sounds sad.
Yes, he did. He did survive.
Phew! It was a fake out. Yeah, great. I'm fine with that.
Oh, yeah. They wouldn't have that in that episode preview and this thing. Oh, he's definitely dead, because we see it in the preview. It's lies. It's all emotional manipulation.
Yes. But yeah, this is an episode where Appare has to get his shit together.
He has a bit of an existential crisis about logic and emotion.
Like you know how machines work, but you don't know how people work.
And you're a people, so yeah.
If only I could fix Kasami like I could the engine of the car, but I can't fix the engine of the car. It didn't do any good. Why is this feeling out of my chest? It's called grief, you dummy. It's called grief and depression and sadness.
Because everyone else is kind of going through that as well. Like you have the two lads drinking on the roof talking about it's like, hey, we fought over that woman. He's like, well, she should have went for you. You stupid son of a bitch. She chose you. And I was just like, that's some classic stuff there. I'm enjoying that.
Yeah.
Oh, I was right as well. The lads' van did survive barely. Like the cowcatcher was hanging off it, but it did hit a train.
It's the only functional thing that you use that to tow all the rest of the cars back.
Yeah.
And they didn't take Seth hostage.
No, it wasn't clear the last day, and I'm guessing had they took him hostage, it would have been shown. Yeah.
The cops don't want to go up against guilty cigar. They make the very good point that the big boss companies have specifically told them to turn a blind eye to the involvement of.
Because you thought Guilty Cigar was in it, and you knew two other ones were in it, and you were correct about those two. Yeah. So, and you were just like, hey, don't arrest them. And then the cops are like, we're not going to fucking do it then, because we'll probably get killed doing it. You fucking do it. I mean, shitty, but yeah, I get where they're coming from in this case.
Yes. You bought us off once. You can't buy us off a second time.
You can't unbuy us off. What the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, we got the bit with Kasami with the cloth over his face and him blowing it.
I did appreciate it was him. Like I was like, this would be really funny. I was like, Hey man, were you sad there? Oh fuck, I'm in horrible pain from the gut shot.
Haha, gotcha. Oh.
Yeah, like he's still trying to be dumb, Kasami, but it's like he's in too much hospitalization to
Yes.
fucking do it fully.
But yeah, his speech is very much the thing we were talking about last week.
Yeah.
About Guilty Cigar's attitude he basically tells Appare that Guilty said he couldn't be stopped, but look, there's this thing, they call it blood transfusion, and it stopped him.
It's like the world's
he's
fucking
wrong.
changing, and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
He's just railing against it. It's impotent, it's futile, and it's just kind of just lashing out like a child, really, at a change and being afraid of it. He's afraid more than anything else.
And the thing that's messing him up is the progression of technology. That thing you like, Appare.
Yes, and that's all that Appare needs. And he comes storming into the other guys who are all down still, looking around this campfire, which is being rained out, and we get like the shot of his tools as if they were like shots of his weapons.
Yeah, because he dropped them all earlier, like the cowboy throwing away his gun. You know, I'll put my hammer down for the last time.
And he comes in, gives them a talk. The race is going to go on. I'm going to fix your car, Al, because I know everything about your car.
Because he can't get a replacement radiator part or something like that, and it's like, I need a list of all the broken parts. Your man's like, God damn it, I'm back to engineering. Rolls up the sleeves. Here's a list of all the parts, men. Buy everything. We get all the artisans in town to fix up these cars. I'm so fired. Yeah. I'm super fired.
That's kind of good, you know. He's kind of been like. Been shat on by the fucking organizer. Everyone's saying, "Oh, fuck this! I'm going back to my roots, man." Try to. If you can't take the engineer out of the race organizer boy. That's good. He's going around and getting his hands dirty, but it's all fucked anyway. So I know how to fix things. I may as well get in here and help out.
And then Appare says the engine's talking to him. He wants to go faster. We're not just going to repair the car. We're going to make it go faster than it's ever gone before. Because we're going to beat Gil, rescue Sophia, and then finish this goddamn race.
Like, I wonder how he's going to do it, because he mentioned, well, my car used to be a boat, so are they going to sail it across? Or he says, going to make it go as faster as you go. Are they going to try and jump the canyon?
That's a good point. I do, because it was like, I was thinking like the bridge is broken, so he's just going to apply it. It's like, okay, we'll find a way for technology to get us past the broken bridge. Which is, there's a similar beat in Millionaire Detective coming up. They've taken it down. Well, okay, recreate the thing they've taken down.
I'm like, well, when we mentioned in Millionaire Detective, I fucking laughed out loud at that. I was like, that's fucking, and then the music swells.
I'll get to the.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a
second.
Music
when we get to it.
Yeah.
This was. I think this was as good as episode 9. Weirdly, I feel like the two downtime episodes I feel have been better animated than the action episode in between them.
I think it's better because like maybe it's the animators as well. We enjoy hanging out with these characters, and obviously the animators enjoy just having fun with them, just playing with those toys. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the flashbacks to see like how tied in TJ was.
It's like TJ, you big softy.
Hanging out with orphans, having a great old time.
When you see Dylan like pretending to be a horse, I thought that made me crack up as well.
all these badass criminals and outlaws, actually,
they've got hearts of gold. Yeah.
Just trying to go do some crimes by raising money for the orphanage.
Dear.
And Chase and his apple pies that he loves, and Appare ignoring him.
I presume he got them off the same shop because they went back to the town they came from.
Yeah, they must have done.
Favorite food. No, it does sound advice though. Like whatever's wrong with you, you know, like have something to eat, like have a wash, have a sleep, and whatever is left, we'll deal with that. While having these other worries dealt with. It's the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know.
For the guy who looks like he does not have his shit together, gives out the best advice. I gotta say. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're a great bunch of lads, the Bad Brothers. They're probably terrible outlaws.
They're all terrible outlaws, except for Guilty Cigar, and he's about to get his ass handed to him by the look of it.
Yeah.
I'd say the biggest crime they've ever done is stealing a pie cooling softly on a windowsill. If you know they love those.
It's definitely cartoon shenanigans. Is what they're up to. Yeah.
They're going scrumping for apples. They put varnish on the conkers. You know, that's the two to me like two primary school age boys who have access to a giant fucking steam-driven train truck turned car.
Again, it might be lying to us, but in the next episode, it looks like the big lad is going to get that Gatling gun and actually use it on something.
Yeah.
Which should be nice.
Anyway, let's talk about Millionaire Detective episode 9. A golden key can open any door. I don't know why it's taken me 9 episodes to realise that sting is basically just announcing the Millionaire Detective every time.
Yeah, no, I mean, like the opening theme is fucking great. It's the the opening theme is just him singing like about how the balance is unlimited.
Yes.
And that one is just like Millionaire Detective spending all the money. That's
you mean like
that swells.
When
he spends the money,
he's putting the suit on. He's getting like all of the. He's doing all the hacks, and he's crowdsourcing a viral marketing campaign to get people to spin around with their phones so we can get accurate like information of the area when all the cameras have been knocked out.
That was so fucking good. Like when your man got like the pop up, I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh, you fucking genius.
Yeah, I had the same response. I was laughing out loud at like, oh yeah, it works so much better than the stuff in Nolan's Batman movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it is surveillance state shit, but it's still surveillance state shit where you're getting people to volunteer to be the surveillance state.
And that makes it more like, it makes it less fucking creepy because they're all like, well, I'm fucking going into that. I could win 10,000. Yeah.
Also, he's paying them to do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're not being screwed. It is a contest and shit. But I was just like, it's so well done, and it's the kind of, again, like going to the Batman metaphor, it's ridiculous and overblown, but entirely feasible.
Yeah, it goes so far into Batman territory in this episode to the point where we've got a supervillain at the end. Well,
they have a supervillain with a super gadget, and they are working against their own supercomputer. And I love the fact that your ones there like fucking like goes like, I'm leaving the supercomputer on so I can see how it's trying to fuck us over right now.
Like Combat's got some like sort of nano machine like sneaking suit he deploys later on. It's like, where do you get that from? Like we're talking about all it's like a Dolium technology. What's that stuff made out of? What do you got going on? It's like pretty advanced as well.
But for all the superior technology that he's got, the Modern Crimes Division still also get to the same location before him using their archaic technology.
Using their archaic technology. So the head guys have come in. It's like, we're taking over the case. We're going to take your car keys so you can't fucking go anywhere as well. We're just going to keep this guy sitting here watching you. And they use the archaic technology of hold this model ship, and while it's drying, and everyone's going to go out to lunch.
To the kebab van.
Oh, the kebab van. Gotcha.
Yeah. It's because Cho's dice were indeed a wiretap.
So he wasn't so old-fashioned after all.
Well, that's pretty. It's just planting the bug. Sleight of hand under the back of the collar. Just before he stabs you in the gut. Is it showing as well? Like because when we had an episode a while back when Chosuke and Daisuke were trying to interrogate Imura, the lady who was like tied up with the corporation. And with Daisuke's approach was fun, using his money and his thing as a fun break into her laptop, and then you had Chosuke, trying to like pull like the con on her, really, like that. It's kind of showing that there's two different sides to how to do bad policing, I suppose. How to do this kind of police work. You can do it like just like this all the resources and all the experience, but it all depends on like the motivation, the integrity behind it. So now we have we've seen the other side of that where we definitely know who the killer is. We definitely know he's a big piece of shit because he's seemed to have like massacred 2 of our own based on the amount of blood sprayed at the scene there. But we have Daisuke using his resources to like track them down. But similarly, the other folks using their own experiences, not just like they've been in the force long enough, but using just like their weird sort of hobbies, I suppose, or like life experiences. Because one lad's really into speedboating, so he recognizes it's a speedboat there, so down by the harbour.
But the other guy thinks it's porn.
Well, that doesn't really come into play.
Honk, honk. Yeah, no, definitely pornography.
All you had to do was just hold the radio antenna up in the right angle and get embarrassed by the public who were taking photos of him going by. But showing as well, like, yes, both of these projects are equally valid. In fact, they can work very well together, but it all depends on the motivation and the integrity behind it. The intention behind it. If it's ill intentioned, then it's completely wrong. It doesn't matter how successful it is. But he was like a very worthy goal to have in mind to take down this horrible terrorist cell.
So yeah, the my favorite little moment beyond the big moment of the video camera, the phone camera stuff was when Rio comes down to take Kato in for questioning, and Mahoro has grabbed a fire extinguisher to use as a weapon against him. In the background, a rare scene when she doesn't have sweets or snacks in her hand.
She's willing to get her hands dirty as well, but mostly from the chips that she's constantly eating.
Yes, there's so many important lines she delivers with food in her mouth. But yeah, Rio gets his moment when he realizes that Kato is not the man he's been thinking he was the past few years.
It's a really nice contrast between him and Daisuke, because obviously at the start of it, your man's like, "Hey, we're going down to the office to talk about this." He's like, "Nope, I fucking resign." You know, it's just throwing in his badge. So, and it in contrast to that scene, how he turned in his badge, because your man was like, "I won't let you get away with this," and he's like, "Oh, he obviously has some beef with the chief." But it's more so the chief was like, "I'm not going to let you fucking resign. You're too good a detective."
Yes. Well, we know from the previous flashbacks we've seen that
the your man respects him. Sure.
Take, it was as respected as trying to make him not take the blame, or not load himself with the blame over the shooting, which we get again in this.
We get the full thing of it. Like, did we get before that the gun was actually like a toy gun before?
No, I don't think we got the.
I think this was the first one. Yeah, and you can see why he's torn up about it. It's like, I didn't need to fucking pull the trigger, but you thought you were about to be shot.
And he still is, because he can't pull the trigger again at the end of the episode.
He's still traumatized by it.
Yeah. As idealistic as Kato comes across, his mate in the first division, like, he says, "Oh, like, you talk about not being a good cop and being a hero." So he's somebody like he looked up to. So if anything, this guy who's like the top first division dude, he's if anything more idealistic and kind of naive as well. It's just kind of funny that like this person you looked up got busted down to this modern crimes. So you know.
But yeah, the show is very careful not to show you the quote-unquote father's face any other time other than on video.
And they do specify, like, the characters in the show going like, okay, so like your one, his what should we refer to her? His
mechanic.
I'm gonna call her Alfred. His Alfred, and she said, "It's like, okay, we do need to remember. He very specifically showed me his face, so it's probably a trap." And when he's going, it's like, "Oh, we've tracked him down to this fucking car," and she's like, "Daisuke, it's definitely a trap. The car's filling up with gas. Daisuke, this is a trap. Stop walking into traps."
The grandmother knows that he was still alive, though,
or she thinks he's still alive. She helped cover it up, like, which makes me.
It's just at the end they show his face in shadow when he's looking down from the ship's gantry.
Have they done a full reveal to us, the audience, besides some dodgy security camera footage?
No, it's all security camera footage.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So I still think it's the butler, just because of Takei's reaction in the previous episode when the butler entered.
But the butler is there in scene as well here, but he's keeping mum. He's not letting Anton slip.
He hasn't done anything fun since the time when he gave him a lift in the van and stuff. Yeah.
So being oddly quiet, and it would be fairly apt if this mystery ended with the butler did it. But it's such a simple explanation as well, because of all the technological sleight of hand being employed here, all of the trickery and chicanery going on. The answer was just right in front of you all along. That's horrible cliche. It was the butler all along.
Well, they literally know, like, the computer is working against him, and the computer is named after the butler. Like it doesn't have the same name as him.
Well, they called the AI butler.
Yeah. So I mean, like the butler is already working against them, and they actively know this. So it was just like, no, it's the real butler as well as the
butlers did
it. Yeah, I suppose so.
Maybe it turned out that the butler is actually just an artificial body for the computer.
I mean, it wouldn't be the maddest thing it's done. I think the maddest thing is that VR dream shit. Yeah.
Well, does he drive? It's not clear whether the car is a submarine or whether he just drives the car into the ocean.
I wish it subtitled like the cost thing. It was like if it just went like Mercedes-Benz fucking like total. I'd like to see that. I assume because they say the car was destroyed, and I assume he just drove his car into the fucking sea because it's just like I can afford to do that. That's fine.
Yeah, but he does have like a ghost suit in this episode.
Yeah.
And our international arms dealer who were introduced has like a lightning bolt, like claw type fist.
I was thinking like the claw type situation because it appears to be some sort of sonic cannon. I'm not exactly sure what it's doing, but it's not exploding anything, but it is.
So it's like an EMP type thing.
Yeah.
It's connected to the Adolium, which seems to take out electronic devices.
Yeah, it takes out all the mobile phones in a circle around the ship and everything. Yeah.
But yeah, that's where we leave our heroes in trouble on a Peruvian shipping vessel, which they shouldn't even be on because they haven't got passports with them.
And it is technically foreign soil, kind of.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This probably interesting. There's somebody I think on Twitter who is actually translating the costs of each one, so you can see.
Cup ramen. It does actually keep all of it.
I'm not sure what episode that actually was, but like but
I'd say that was the one where the balance was limited because they were charging for ramen, which generally I imagine they don't have to keep track of in the main episodes.
Well, I don't know. Here's like acquisition of the tower. So he bought an entire building there.
Okay.
Tossing money to street performers. Fun to board through.
Yeah. Great. Still a great fucking show. Still thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah, 2 more episodes of this. It's 11 because it's a Noitamena.
I thought number 10 in my mind.
Oh, maybe 10. Could be 10. I thought there was 11.
I could see this wrapping up in the next one, yeah.
Yeah, because I would be surprised if it was 10 because I was like, oh, I thought this was 10. And then I thought, oh, yeah, 1 more episode's all we need. And then I went back and saw it was 9. I was like, okay.
Well, I mean, like they could have easily done, if it was 11, they could have easily wrapped it up next episode and then done another caper like they've been doing up to the build up to this. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Wineski was our Franz Wineski. Oh, he's the bodyguard. He's not even the arms dealer. He's the bodyguard to Thomas Matheson.
But yeah, it's fucking what's it called? The vibranium shooting thing.
Yes.
Vibranium punch.
Then finally, because I didn't watch One Piece, unless anybody else watched One Piece and wants to talk One Piece, in which case, penultimately, Healing Good, Pretty Cure, episode 24. We're coming. Healing on Wind. Niall. Reports from the front line of Magical Girls.
They go on a lovely picnic in the countryside.
Oh.
Well, they're kind of deciding where to go. Nana wants to go to this like cafe in the city, but that's hours away on a train. Let's just go to here, but the countryside, and also we can let like the animals just run free when there's nobody around and have a great crack. While they're there, don't you hear? What's this? Hark! A baby bird has fallen out of the nest. We should rescue it and put it back in the nest. It's like, whoa! What's that right there? Who said that? It's me. I'm Dr. Sakia. I'm an arborist, aka a tree doctor, but both speak nature and stuff. This bird has coming out of the nest, intentionally. The mother bird is nearby and is watching and is trying to push this little thing out of the nest. So don't touch it, don't interfere. It's like, wow, you really into nature. I know I'm a doctor. We're really into nature as well, especially Asami Furin here, who was a homunculus who was being created by magic, but was finally attuned to like the voices of the earth and can heal, here on the wind and in the water and the grass and the trees. That the earth is happy and it speaks to us. It also speaks to us when it's not happy at all. Actually, when the monsters turn up. So Dari was in. He's as the Byogen parts. It's like these gems, pretty neat. You can make a monster wheel big, but I think they got other applications. Like I'm going to try some stuff out and see what happens with it. So while he had a nice time there, Latte is like, oh, Puppy is sick. Must be a monster nearby. He's like, where is it? Oh, it's down by the lake we were at yesterday. That's ages away. How are we going to get down there? Sammy is like, okay, I can hear his voice in the wind. I can hear like the pain crying out through the earth. We won't get there in time if you take a train over, but the power of the wind, I can carry us there. And she just opens like a space gate portal in the sky and just like open a hurricane to just like teleport straight there. This new developments that you can do now. That's pretty cool, pretty neat. They can be wherever they need to at any time. Which kind of expands the scope of the range of where they can go to now.
So it's not like, just local, yeah.
Kind of cool to take Healing Good Pretty Cure. They come like, Healing Good Pretty Cure Sans Frontiers, and they can just go off and take care of emergencies on the other side of the planet. And there's a monster there, all right. But it's not one that, well, it is something like it was experienced before. What the reason has done is that, of all things, he has used the Byogen parts on that little baby bird that fell out of the nest. And it's turned it into like a kind of a snarky birdman, a bit like Batate Moda, who was the Nutria / Koipu who got mutated and then erased a few episodes back. It's turned it like this little kind of birdman flying around and causing trouble. It's just, ooh, that's a kind of a cool little like thing to do as well. Where it's like switching it up. Where if one ought to just be kind of a giant monster fight, it could be a bit more intricate. Where having to go to kind of throw some hands against these more human-sized opponents. But they're able to defeat him by because it's a little baby bird, mentally at least. It refers to different diaries as, "Hey, big bro, watch me do this." Just a child trying to impress its elder sibling. They kind of get it to kind of fly up high. He's been kind of dive bombing around, but they kind of do the kind of keep up to kind of give her assembly to kind of boost up, launch her into the air, and then the launch up so high the bird is I haven't got this high before. I'm getting dizzy. Oh, I'm gonna fall down, and then just slams it straight down. Which deals with it in good time, and thankfully, I was worried that when they deal with the villain of the week, did they just destroy that baby bird? No, it's fine. You see a shot where it actually been put back into the nest, so it's all right. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Hasn't been just vaporized like the other one was.
Right.
Yeah. And the day is saved, but obviously with some new developments, you're probably going to see some more complicated monsters down the line. And also, is like Asami, she can teleport them to this lake. But she used up all her energy for the day, so now they're gonna walk back. It's like, oh man, I didn't bring my wallet with me. I'm not sure we can afford a train back. I'm only 12 years old. How am I gonna get back home? Well, that'll be fine. So there's kind of just little new developments there, new gimmicks put in the teleporting tunnel, maybe like turning animals or other things into intelligent monsters that can actually talk back to you and have cooler moves. Pretty good action as well. Some great like impact frames and good just kind of choreography as well when they're like doing their stunts to try and like take out this aerial based opponent when they can't fly. Just jump up real high off of stuff and do some cool stunts that way, and obligatory dive kicks. Exciting things to come. I kind of like this kind of change in the dynamic of it. Came along at a good time, and we've kind of moved off from having to teach Asami about the basics of being a human being because you were literally born a couple of days ago. Fun stuff. I forget what the preview was, but it'll be something very wholesome and lovely. Oh, it was the penguin gets lost. I think some little child picks him up on the street and brings him home. It's an escape from this primary school age child or something like that. It'll be interrupted by a monster at some stage, I know, but I'll be all for just like watching the penguin try to escape this house. It'll be kind of pretty funny at least. But that's all I have for you for now. This has actually kind of been pretty good. There hasn't been many episodes where it's like absolutely nothing happens. Usually always some kind of fun, detailed situation, so I don't need to kind of have to bundle up a couple into a row to get any kind of juice out of them. But it's good stuff. Always very awesome, and it's a bright spot in the week. Nice, good. I'm done.
Good. What is coming up on Secret of the Sailor Madness?
We had a nice, very good fun one. It was well, after some difficulty because one of my recordings got corrupted, so it was a pain to discover that like partway through to editing it. But I had it back up and it's up there now. Martin Schneider on about Clone High, fun one to do.
I feel weird that after we did that, fucking like freaking JFK is like a super memey fucking thing now.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with being ahead of the curve. I'm old fashioned and backwards. That's not right.
Well, we want to be back at the curve.
Well, maybe we're setting the curve. We are dictating how it is. This happened before where we talk about a thing. Oh, this thing isn't in print or it's not been released or translated yet, and then it like apparates into being.
Yes, or like I say, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're never going to see Cleopatra literally the same week. Anyway, yeah, pretty much there's an upcoming Dynamite in the Brain where I say Suzuki Gun never turn on each other in New Japan, and then that very weekend after I recorded it, Minoru Suzuki's throttling Taichi.
We got some fun things on the way as well. We've tapped Leon Everett, our mutual pal, talk about Samurai Jack, the final chapter, and we'll see how that plays out. And in between, we will go and try and squeeze in with our buddy Jacob about them baseball episodes whenever he's free. So, lots of things, lots of irons in the fire. But look forward to those. But enjoy Clone High with Martin Steiner for now.
Right, currently up is the end of season 1 of Dynamite in the Brain.
Whoa!
Episode 330, Tokyo Tribe. So this is the one with Anthony's last regular hosting. However, he'll be back in 3 episodes' time.
After a 2-year time jump, we have new powers and abilities.
Yeah. So you won't miss Anthony for too long. That might be 3 months' time based on how I'm going to release things. So then I think next week, or the next Dynamite in the Brain will be the One Piece Stampede episode we recorded, Dwayne.
Oh, right. I forgot I did that.
With Bradley.
How many years ago was that now?
No, when you said it, I was like, "Ooh, I'll listen to that one." I was like, "Wait, I was on that one." That's happened to me before, specifically on Dynamite in the Brain. So yeah.
Yeah. So my current plan is 1 Dynamite in the Brain, 1 the anime that didn't make us a month.
That sounds sensible.
It does sound.
That's
sensible.
kind of what we are at now. Where we're into one and then one of the side ones. Even though the other kind of gimmicky ones have become a bit more into the main mix anyway. But whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, if people want to do a episode about something which isn't going to take me too long to watch, then I'm happy to fit in more Dynamite in the Brains. But otherwise, yeah, that's plenty. So yeah, I've got there's the anime that didn't make us in the bag with me and Gary, and then we've already got plans, I think, into January now.
Ooh.
So
good.
We're all back on that horse again. Otherwise, we'll be back here next week with a thing which doesn't take so much planning. Just have to find 3 hours to watch anime. It's let's go.
I did it all in one day. So it can be done. It can be accomplished.
Yeah, I did it all today as well, but that's because we were recording a little earlier than we normally do.
I think I only got 3 things in today, and then all of the rest of it yesterday, fucking somehow.
Back Wednesday next week, Niall?
Wednesday. Yes, correct.
Okay, we're back here next week. We will see you then. Goodbye.
Bye.